Welcome to this edition of WPRP. I'm Michelle. In this edition, we will visit a local spot that most of us walk or ride by every day, but usually give a little attention to. We will also visit a classroom that has a whole new sound. Stay tuned for these stories and more. Most of us walk and ride past landmarks that sometimes need a little more tender love and care. Here's a story about PRP students that actually did something about one of them. Here's Allie with the story.
I first noticed the cemetery when I was like 8 years old, and we were driving by, and all the bricks were mostly already tore down like how it is now. My grandpa decided that he wanted to cut it and make it look better because it was Memorial Day, and he wanted the dead people to have a nice resting place. Over the years passed, and I wondered like, who's buried here? Like, is this, because it's a really small cemetery. And when I looked at it, I always figured it was people like from the church, like the church's past. And I was right, because I looked at the tombstones and most of them are pastors and saints. And I'm surprised that there are World War I veterans buried here from how long ago that was. Whenever we first found the World War I veterans, I was cutting the grass and my grandpa was trimming. So he sent my grandma home right away because she wanted to go get some flags. There's two right there and one over there. They're all marked with flags. I think it's amazing that the veterans were found because even from that long ago, they're just scattered all over the place. And I'm assuming that their family or relatives either are passed away or they're living somewhere else, like in another state or something. And just that we found them is amazing because they're so important. With the restoration, first it started out, we just wanted to get the grass down, be able to see the tombstones and give them a nicer resting place. And then as it just continued, and we decided all these walls are they're like curved, broken down, or the rocks are just completely destroyed. Like right over there, like most of the rocks, I picked up part of the wall that was knocked down and most of the rocks were just smashed. And I actually want to keep doing community service. I think it's extremely important for people to get involved in their community and get up and do something. If people didn't step up in their community and take care of stuff like this, it would just keep growing and get worse and worse.
Reporting from PRP Cemetery for WPRP, this is Alexis Jenkins.
Next up is an in-depth look at something many people take very personal. Here's Diana to give us the story.
Did you know that more than $1 billion is spent on tattoos every year?
I have 2 tattoos.
I have 7 tattoos.
I have 2 tattoos.
John McGuire. I'm a plastic surgeon and the medical director for Physicians Center for Beauty. So I'm board certified plastic surgeon and cosmetic surgeon here in Louisville. You know, tattoos have become more and more common. They're more and more popular, and you might even have some of your fellow students in high school that have tattoos.
I got my tattoo basically because, I don't know, I just felt like I needed, because my first tattoo was my mom and my little sister, and I felt like I needed something on me to represent my mom and my little sister. But my tattoos really don't affect because I have them in places you really can't see when I have them straight.
The one on my back is a Handsma hand. It's important to me because my dad passed away before I was born. and he's Arabic, and it kind of helps remind me every day who I am and what I'm part of.
It's in the view, but sometimes if I stand like this and I wear a certain type of shirt, it'll hide it, but it doesn't really affect me as long as they look at me and doesn't judge me for what I have.
You know, statistically in the United States, about 25% of adults ages 18 to 50 have tattoos. So that's 1 in 4 that have tattoos in this country, which is a lot.
I think many employers are very tolerable of their employees having tattoos, but you just need to be careful that your images and the language that is on the tattoo is not vulgar or inappropriate for your place of employment.
Not all people are happy with their tattoos, and the number of people having them removed is on the rise. The most recent data shows that close to 50,000 people had their tattoos removed this last year.
So many people decide, you know, after they've had a tattoo for several years, their lifestyle has changed. And you think about someone that's in their early 20s that's kind of living a wild lifestyle and perhaps has done something that they regret later. We see that really commonly, especially people that have gone out into the workforce and have professions that really tattoos are not appropriate for. Tattoo removal is done in a variety of different ways. It can be done with laser, it can be done with excision, which means to actually cut it out. And tattoo removal is expensive. Laser tattoo removal usually takes multiple treatments, anywhere between 4 to 8 to 10 treatments sometimes, spaced about a month apart. And each of those treatments is between $250 and $300. So if you do the math, at about $250, say, times 8, you're looking at a pretty expensive proposition of about, what is that, $2,000.
So whether you are thinking about getting a tattoo, think long and hard before you do it. It is a big decision that can affect you in a lot of ways, and money whether you are getting one or getting one removed.
Getting involved is so important. Here's Teresa with an organization that is sharing a positive message.
I go to FC every Friday just to get a weekly dose of God in my life, aside from the church on Sundays and youth groups that I go to. But it's definitely just a refresher through all the stress in the week and all the schoolwork we get. It's nice to be able to come together with my fellow students and talk about God.
In Coach Lytle's room in room 324, we get together, a speaker, a former student, maybe a youth minister from the area will come in, he'll hang out, they will share God's Word with us for a little bit because it's a chance that we can come together and do that in a safe and fun environment. Other things we like to do are take care of our sports teams. We like to do outreaches, do little things to show them some love whenever we get the chance, because we feel like that's what Christ would be doing if he was in our building today. Anything he could do to share the love and anything he could do to build people up and lift them up and make things just be a better place for people in our school building. That's what we strive to do through FCA here at PRP.
If you would like to get involved with Fellowship of Christian Athletes, we meet every Friday morning at 7:20 in Mr. Lyle's room 324. Hope to see you there.
Thanksgiving is just 2 days away. Sophia shares some of PRP's thoughts about one of our favorite holidays.
Once a year, American families get together to enjoy turkey, pumpkin pie, parades, and American football. But how much do you really know about Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is a time where you get together with people you love and people you're thankful for.
Thanksgiving is like the time of the year that we all get together, you know, chill out at the table and have some food and talk.
I'm thankful for my family and my friends.
Thanksgiving is the time of the year where we eat and have fun with our family.
I'm thankful for baseball, all the opportunities that I've gotten, and everybody around me.
The traditions that my family does for Thanksgiving is we get together and we eat, and then afterwards we all go to the movies.
Thankful for all my friends and family that help me and support me.
So the traditions that we do are, you know, we usually go over to my grandpa's house, we have dinner in the garage because there's a bunch of us, and then we'll usually go shopping or something afterwards.
Our traditions, we go to my grandpa's and have a bunch of food and talk. My favorite food is the pumpkin pie.
All right. My favorite food is the turkey.
Our next story is a look back at a shared project PRP was involved in this fall.
So recently, PRP students participated in a national event asking students what they could do to address racial tensions in their community. Here's what PRP students had to say.
I believe that it's really important for people our age and of all ages really to participate in the community and try to give back as much as you can, because then it helps bring people together more so, and that'll overcome any differences that people would have.
I think we need to stop putting each other in the stereotypes that we're so used to. We need to learn how to have more of an open mind, because automatically we see hate when we see people with different races and we're like, oh, they have a different race than us, so we should hate them. When actually we should celebrate because they're different than us and we get to learn more about the culture and everything else.
We should have racial differences in our community. What we need to stop doing is passing on to the next generation the idea of needing to categorize everything, because people are people, and whether it doesn't matter your skin color, that's just an unnecessary barrier that is an unnecessary obstacle for us to get through. And it's extremely hard, especially whenever we're growing up in these times where we're raised like that. So the best thing we can do is to not pass it on to the next generation and try to overcome it on our own.
What could you do?
When the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somehow will soon make a change.
If you were bullied,
How would that make you feel?
Why not treat others
The way you want to be treated.
bullying is not a game.
It affects people's lives.
We can stop bullying with one simple task. Be kind.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Our final story is about a new kind of classroom at PRP that is producing a whole new kind of sound. Jalen has the story.
Pleasure Ridge Park High School is definitely the place you want to come if you're interested in learning how to play the piano. PRP Piano Lab teacher Philip Jennings just started a piano lab this year.
Hello, my name is Philip Jennings. I'm the PRP choir director and also the new piano lab teacher. This is the first year that we've had a piano lab. I raised the money last year through GoFundMe, and then also my district supervisor provided some of the funds to purchase the instruments. Every day they work from the beginning of the period to the end. They work on scales, they work on reading music, they work on music theory concepts that help you become a better player. My main objective was to offer a different type of class for students that are self-driven, because it's an independent study with me guiding them.
It's very important that we have piano lab, because most of the kids here who haven't even thought about learning an instrument or being in band, choir, orchestra, it gives them the choice to say, hey, I want to learn music and piano would be a great instrument to learn.
I wanted students to have an outlet where they could practice something on their own with my help and go at their own pace.
The students in here are really cool, and most of them have more experience than I do. I only have 1 year experience of piano, and I taught it myself, and there's some kids in there who's so experienced, and I learn better when people teach me, especially students. So in this class, if I say, hey, what's this? And they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, and they'll help me out and stuff. So I'm really happy that we have this class.
Last year, Barry Manilow did a concert here at the Kentucky Center, and everywhere he goes around the country when he's touring, he gives instruments away, saxophones, pianos, to music programs. So he gave a piano to JCPS, and my supervisor called me and said, do you want this piano for your lab? And I said, absolutely. So he donated a brand new Yamaha piano, probably retails worth about $15,000. I've had a lot of students who continue on into college, not as music majors, but students who sing in choir, students who still participate in singing and in local bands and in other things like that. I encourage them to follow whatever passion they do and to continue being a musician, whether it's going to be a career for them or not.
Wow, what a brilliant story. I'm Jalen Level, reporting for WPRP.
Well, that's it for this edition of WPRP. I'm Michelle. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.